Go ahead.
Coach Burrow, can you just talk about the effort that you got from Jovic tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we always want to talk about our lack of size and, all those things. This team's top 10 in the nation in rebounding, and we out rebounded them by 15. So, thought Phillip was a phenomenal spark off the bench. 10 rebounds, 5 offensive, 5 defensive, and, really was a spark. He was +5 and +minus. Did a lot of really good things for us. So, Phillip is incredibly effective in those areas because he just plays hard as shit. And, that we need more of that. He's got an identity. And his identity is to play hard and to win. And we need more of that from guys on this team to have a toughness identity because Phillip's got it.
Nathan?
And obviously, you talked this week about guard-driven approach for them trying to get downhill. How would you evaluate how you guys did defensively with them?
Yeah, horrible. Our one-on-one defense is terrible. We just continuously work on it and we let guys drive right around us. And at some point we got to have an identity. And I'm always going to look within first, and I'm always going to figure out what I can do better to help us on the defensive side. But at some point, our guys have to have a level of pride that they're not going to let their guy just continuously line them up and drive right around them. There's nothing that we can do from a schematic standpoint unless we just completely sell out and just give up wide open threes. At some point, you gotta have a little bit of pride in not letting those guards go for 31 and 24. And it's not the threes I'm as concerned about. A couple of them were scout specific that we got up out of our stance. Wilkinson hit some really tough ones. I'm more concerned about just the one-on-one drives where they just get into the paint and there's no rim protection because we know we don't have that, and they just are able to score twos because we either reach or we open up the gate too much. So, my biggest challenge for our guys was we got to have more of an identity defensively in our one-on-one defense, because I can sit here and scheme and talk about different coverages, but at the end of the day, we did a lot of switching, we ran a lot of zone. All they did was just get the ball into a guard's hand and then just attack us one-on-one, and we just weren't able to keep them in front. So we just, I'm always going to figure out what I can do better, but my team's got to do a better job of finding their identity defensively and taking some accountability in their one-on-one defense, because I can't go out there and guard for them.
I didn't know those shots, and how tough was it to not have him, in overtime, those last couple of minutes as well as the second half?
I mean, it has nothing to do with our offense. It has everything to do with our defense. So, we just didn't defend late. We fouled too much. So, no, I mean, we've always just played next man up. And, yeah, I mean, he was 3 for 11 from 3. So, would have been nice to have another ball handler on the floor, but at the same time, it's just, part of basketball. And, we talked about not having silly fouls, and we had a lot of silly fouls, and that led to not being able to play in overtime. So, Key did a pretty good job at the point. It was a 2-point game, and he's in the post one-on-one, and no one on the backside moves, and they all just stand there and look, and there's nowhere for him to pass the ball. So, our execution late just wasn't great offensively. We got into the space and the places that we wanted to. We just didn't do a good job of getting to the right spots on the floor off the ball.
Talking about Todd, can you talk about the decision for him to come off the bench? And then Murphy as well, it seemed like he was kind of bothered by something in the second half. Was he not 100% even when he came back late in the game?
I mean, Phillip was +5 and +minus, so, he was just really good. So, that's why Phillip was out there. He just had great energy and did a good job in his one-on-one defense for the most part, and contested shots at the rim. He got vertical as much as he possibly could, and he had 5 offensive rebounds, so he was just too valuable to not be out there. And then Todd, it was a coach's decision. It was a failure to meet our team standards and expectations, and Todd's got to do a better job of leading by example, and it's something that we just continuously talk about. And until he does those things off the court, he's got to stop putting me in these positions where I have to make difficult decisions, and that's part of growth and that's part of learning. We made the decision yesterday, and he had a great practice in response to it yesterday. But he's got some things he's got to fix, and if he's not going to live up to those expectations, and that's all of them. We told everybody when we got back from Purdue, we're just going to tighten things up a little bit. Guys need to be on time, and guys need to do the things that we're asking them to do. And if they don't, you'll come off the bench or you'll lose the rotation. So we got a standard, we have an expectation in this program, and it's going to be upheld.